Hi, I'm Navin,
I'm also Navin.
and this is the Paintedfigs Show, for want of a better name.
We'll come up with something better later.
We'll definitely have
Yeah.
to. So, in this show, we're just going to talk to you about stuff that's going on in the studio, and we're going to show you cherry-picked commissions that we've been working on this week, or every week.
Cool. Before that, we'll get to the news. The news.
This is the news.
The news.
Armies, studio gaming. So, everyone has to MS the game here, right? We've been pushing for this for a while. It's important for everyone to properly understand the product and live and breathe it. So, what are you doing for your army? Tell us about yours.
I'm doing Empire.
You're not doing Skaven.
I'm not doing Skaven. I hate the rats. Right?
Is that because you lack imagination?
Because they're disgusting animals.
They're so cool.
This is the rats.
Speaking of rats, the new clan rats, they look like drug addicts. Like they had that gaunt, like thin look.
Yeah.
And like the teeth jut out, and they all look like.
Sure, you love that. This is very much your.
It's a little intimidating. Yeah. I mean, they look like people would come by, like, outside the old studio back when they were they was at Dodge Town.
Okay. The rat town.
We had 2 dogs for a reason. Anyway, so
and you have Skaven back home.
Yes, my dad's dog.
Yeah.
I've named Skaven for obvious reasons. My dad's very sweet and has no idea what a Skaven is, or I think he would have an opinion about that.
Yeah, very much so.
So
yeah, I'm doing Empire. It's going great.
Empire.
I'm a bit of a Game of Thrones guy, so I've been into fantasy for a while now.
A lot of people are printing armies because we don't have Games Workshops around the corner, and surprisingly, for a company that makes its living mainly on Games Workshop for the past 21 years, we're not particularly keen to push any one brand's miniatures. We want people to buy whatever they want, game whatever they like. And people like 3D printing their stuff. There's no shipping time. They can pick up whatever they like.
It's instant, yeah. A lot of
they can make more when it goes badly. So people are printing their own stuff right now. We have Roman, who I think is... there he is, Roman playing Imperial Fists, who makes the hand gesture. So I'm not sure what he's doing with that. A lot of people going Marine and Tyranid. Yeah,
Tyranid players. There's like 3 of them in the building. All of these like disgusting animal players. I'm not.
You're not. So you're doing fantasy, but what are you doing for 40k or for one-page rules?
I'm doing Tau.
He's doing Tau. Like this is like.
What,
so you're playing Empire.
I don't.
And you give me shit for playing Skaven. I'm playing Tyranid with classic figures from like 20 plus years ago, and you're playing Tau.
That I 3D printed.
You 3D printed.
Yeah.
It was kind of appropriate for Tau.
It's very canonically appropriate for Tau. Cool. Up next we've got shipping. Shipping.
Now we can go into a downer. As if him, playing Tau wasn't downer enough. Shipping is going up.
Sorry.
Shipping is going up for not because of a general increase in the price of shipping. We're not seeing the world economy go, oh, okay, now things are more expensive. Except that we are, but it's a temporary thing. Called an oil shock. We're having a historic oil shock. We're all going to see what that looks like when tankers stop turning up. And we've been talking to Aramex, our couriers, and they have said that we should charge 30% more. Fair freight. So yeah, shipping up by 30%.
For newer orders.
For new orders. Yeah. If you already paid, you're good to go. The deal's a deal.
Yep.
We don't know how much worse the oil shock is going to get, but I'm sure we're just the beginning of this, and we'll see it hit our core rates for painting. Those prices will also go up, but again, I will charge it as a surcharge. When all this hell is over, this fresh hell, we can just get rid of the surcharge and go, okay, here's whatever it is normally. So we can manage a Black Swan event without having it wreck our entire pricing model that we designed 20 years ago, So yeah, that's shipping. And what can you do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nothing we can do. We have no midterms we can vote in. I mean, nothing we can do.
Just trying to survive now. But yeah.
Oh, so is everyone. But yes, that's the news.
A bit of an upturn, yeah. We have Sri Lankan New Year's coming up, 13th, 14th, 14th, 15th, this Monday, Tuesday.
Yes, so we're going to have a 4-day weekend, which is very unusual to anyone outside of Sri Lanka. Like for us, like a 4-day weekend is okay. This wasn't a 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of long weekends.
There's a lot of 3-day weekends.
Sri Lanka has more public holidays than anywhere else in the world.
So,
Did you know that?
Apparently, yeah. I didn't know it was a stat. But
we have the economy to prove it.
Yeah.
Right. So
I don't know if there's direct correlation between the economy and the amount of public holidays we've got.
But you don't know there's
But I don't know there's
a
not
correlation,
yes.
right? So we're having a 4-day weekend, which means me, Vasant, this guy, Manu, will still be working anyway. But everyone else gets to have some time off, and it's nice to come into the studio when it isn't packed full of people. Right?
And get some work done as well.
Get more work done. Just the pressure is off. It's working on the weekends. Great.
They got snacks. They got sweets and stuff. The diagonal shape cow.
For a second, I thought you were talking about the snacks we have in the studio. We don't really have studio snacks. Only on gaming days.
Yeah.
And
we usually eat all the studio snacks that we keep for gaming days, even on like.
I'm a little annoyed that when we put the snacks away to come back to the next gaming day, like, no, the next day it's at lunch. I'm like, okay, I mean that's for gaming, but all right.
Yeah.
We have to seal back the booze.
Isn't it
Have
my
you been
place?
drinking
It's at my house.
Yeah. So we have. So in Sinhala, the word yatta means underneath, and all our big tables here have this secondary layer of storage, right? And Vasant, who is the manager, he keeps the booze under his table. Yeah, the yatta booze, right?
Under the table booze.
He also keeps this next to the mineral spirits, which is a very, very bad thing to keep spirits next to mineral spirits, because one day something terrible is going to happen.
We have a skull emoji on it, so thankfully that stops anybody.
I suppose if you're blind, you can't get to the yatta booze anyway.
Yeah, I think it helps itself, fixes the problem. Yeah. But if you're really desperate and the yatta booze is gone.
We could fix this at any time. You know this, right?
Yeah, it's not really a problem. It's gonna be a problem one day.
And then we'll be liable.
Yeah, we should probably fix it now.
And be like, wait, people were drinking in your office, but unfortunately this time they drank the mineral spirits.
Mars, can we put the mineral spirits somewhere else?
Yes, we're not moving the booze.
Not on the yatta booze. The yatta booze stays there.
Anyway.
Huh?
So we took it all to his place.
Yeah, the booze is at my house. And also the booze is empty there too.
Ladies and gentlemen, senior manager of Painted Figs. Anyway, so enough about that. That's the news. We want to use this show to show you our cherry-picked commissions of the week. And let's get started.
Cool. Shall we start with Darkwater?
Darkwater, Warhammer Quest. I want you to tell me about what you think of Warhammer Quest, given that mad project where we had to print out a gigantic board. We have a video by that. You should
we have a video.
It's nuts.
It's in the description.
Yeah.
Check it out. It is a full scale. We have an entire table filled with 6x6, like one tile on the Warhammer Quest was 6 inches by 6 inches, and. Can we shoot that?
It was a big table.
It was 6 centimeters, I think.
Big table.
Yeah.
So yeah, Warhammer Quest. So it's this amazing thing that's always been in the periphery of what we try to experience and enjoy and love. We get there with Hero Quest and things like that, and then finally, bang! There's a new Warhammer Quest out, and I sit there thinking, "Oh, fantastic! That's clearly a Bretonnian. That's a Wood Elf. They're going back to the old world." They didn't, but the figures are very nice. Right. I've not played Darkwater. I don't own Darkwater, but the figures are beautiful. Something that's really I find interesting about all these new releases is that you see them and you want to buy them. You want to have those who will touch them and you're like, yeah, these are my minis now. But then somebody else's minis turn up instead. And you get to see them, you get to look at them, take color, and you get to QA them. And you go, oh, it's amazing. And then that's it, you're done. Yeah. You don't feel the need necessarily to go out and buy the figures anymore because you've experienced the joy of them. Sure. And I was very keen to see Darkwater. I think the sculpts are amazing. This guy here is Galgus Pust. I'm not sure that's what's coming up now on the screen, but he's just. I am a proper fanboy for Games Workshop sculpting. I like how they make their figures. I like how they put them together. I like how they're easy to clean. I think the epic posing is great. It makes everything look fantastic, like it's right on the cover of the box. Yeah. There are drawbacks on that. How often When you were working on your Empire figures,
Yeah.
did you those knights? Did you pose them in weird, interesting ways?
Here and there, because they weren't. They had the torso separately. They had the head separately. They had everything separately instead of just being fit to part.
Yeah, you
And,
absolutely can't do that
yeah.
now with the new minis, right?
All
Everything
these
is,
are
yeah.
the same kind of sculpt, right? They're built to be a specific way. You can have fun with the Empire stuff. The Empire stuff you just mess around with and make it however you want.
You can't have fun with the new stuff, right? I mean, you just don't get that area.
Yeah.
But I see where they're going with that because they want people. I mean, people look at these beautiful figures, they look at this lovely box art, and they go, "Yeah, it's amazing. It sells the fantasy, the idea of the story of whatever it is they want to buy." And they open the box, and they have plastic sprues,
Yes.
right? And the advantage of the fixed posing is that when you put those things together, it will at least look the same in build as what you had on that beautiful box art.
I've also found the newer models are a lot easier to clean. Like the amount of flash that's there, the amount of residue it's on Empire and the Knights that I did. It was very rough to clean those ones.
So I've noticed skill erosion where there's all kinds of flash, especially with metal and resin, that the builder used to do a couple of decades ago. And now when they see an old figure, they're like, wait, what do I do here? You're like, no, this is how you do this here, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not used to seeing figures with those design issues anymore, right? It used to be you would get a big metal figure, you got to pin it. And you got to check and make sure, did they drill it? Did they probably pin it? Did they use epoxy? And there's a back and forth, like, oh, this is good enough for super glue. Like, no, it needs epoxy. Like, no, that's oh yeah, sure, epoxy, whatever you want, man. That's me and the builder, not me and the client.
Yes.
Right? And now you don't see that so much. Things are just better designed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like what we've got in Warhammer Quest. I think the Nurgle figures are fantastic. I think the Pestigors are great. They should just expand. They should release it as its own army, or allow people to just go ahead and buy them as unit fillers because it's a lovely, gorgeous army.
The sculpting is amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, Warhammer Quest Darkwater. I hope it's a fun game. I just look at the minis and go, that's great. I got paid to paint that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, great stuff.
We got some more kill teams here as well. We got some Plague Marines over there. We got an Angel of Death.
Yes,
we got
yes.
Vespids.
Yes, those are from the kill team starter. We had this one order where we got to do 4 kill teams. And you got the Angel of Death and the Plague Marines. Let's see some of those Plague Marines over here. We got... Yeah. So these, what you're looking at in these pictures, which should be rolling, where you hear my voice being disembodied about that, these are showcase quality. It's what we try to do with our quality levels is make everything look like it does on the box. And as you go to higher quality levels, you're seeing more highlighting and more shading. That's that. So showcase is where the edge highlighting gets cracked out. And I like it. I was very fond of it until I got spoiled by exhibition quality. But yeah, so those are those. What are your thoughts on these?
It's great. I mean,
those little guys over there, the Nurglings are great. I mean, they could just do an entire army of little Nurglings. I wonder if you can even field that as a list. You should be able to. The secret world of Games Workshop humor is Nurglings. And they should do Nurglings versus Orcs.
these are all from the newer ones, or?
This is from the starter set for 2024. I'm more excited about the Kill Team Hivestorm. We've got these Tempesticides. Okay, great, Tempesticides, that's fantastic. And then you have the new Stingwings.
Yeah.
Now, the Tau have all these weird aliens supposed to ally with them and do stuff, but they only ever make, like, the Stingwings and the Kroot. And the Kroot are fantastic. The Stingwings just have the one unit. And for Hivestorm, they resculpted them. And I think the figures are fantastic. And they're the same kind of wings you see on some of the Sylvaneth creatures. They have those insects that fly around. I can't remember their names. Yeah. And also we have them on... there's some Necromunda figures for the Ash Waste Nomads. There's that faction. So, what do you know about questionable representation in Warhammer in the early days? Okay, it got pretty questionable.
Yeah?
Right? There's a pygmy army that nobody wants to speak of.
There's what army? Oh, Pygmy army.
Yeah, right. But in Necromunda, they had these guys called the Ratskins. And the Ratskins were supposed to be the Aboriginal people who lived in Necromunda. and who were there before the Imperial colonists turned up. An early wave of colonization.
Yeah.
And they all got persecuted and like whatever, and driven down underground into the ashways. So they had Native American themes to them in their design. So
It's quite questionable, yes.
so this time around when they came up with these, I can't remember what they're called. I want to call them nomads. I have a bunch of them lying around. I bought them when they came out and they're sitting in a box somewhere.
Yeah.
But they all have masks and you can't see their face, you can't see their skin or anything. They could be aliens for all you know. So now no one can cancel them.
It's safe, it's good PR.
I really like the new Vespids. I'd like to see them get more figures. They should do like a giant queen Vespid that lays eggs.
Yeah.
You know, where these things come from? Why can they think? Why can they use guns? Are they explained? Are they brain Vespids? I mean, to be fair, they gotta be smart. Yeah, that guy holding a rail rifle. Okay, I guess they're smart enough, but whatever.
This is very much you, like all of this.
Whatever, you're a Tau player. These are your guys. These are your jam, right? Okay. So those are the kill teams we did. And we can move on to the next thing we did. You were cherry picking?
Yeah, let's do it.
Shall we do the Salamander Space Marines?
Salamander Space Marines. Alright, next up we've got Salamanders.
Salamander Space Marines.
What are these?
These are Terminators with things burning on their not their heads, but above their heads, because I guess that's where you keep things that are on fire.
It's very appropriate.
But that's their thing, right? So that's their thing.
Yeah.
What I like about Salamander, you see, when people do Ultramarines, they always do them the same way. They might weather them up or whatever, but with Salamanders, everyone does them differently. Like we've done Salamanders maybe 6 or 7 different ways. Oh no! Oh, he's showing his age.
I'm
the
allowed.
fact that I didn't get that.
I'm allowed.
You're not allowed. Yes. I mean, if I scored that, I would have.
If you did it, it would have been
fine.
worse. It would have been so much worse.
It's dad joke territory.
At least I'm still 24. I can do it for one more year.
Whatever, good. Anyway, so
continue.
I'll use your people slang against you.
Oh yeah. You got aura. You got hella aura.
I even know what that means. What's nice about these is there's so many different ways to do Salamanders. These are paint exhibition quality. I hope you guys are seeing pictures of these right now. And the client has different ideas for basing, so these are unbased. And that's pretty much it. It's just nice to see how many different ways it can be done. So next I want to talk to you about the some Warlord games we painted for the Deutsche Afrika Corps.
What is the Deutsche?
They're those guys in Indiana Jones who are running around, actually no, that's the Honor Nerve, but they're using Deutsche Corps costumes, or uniforms, not costumes. I'm sure they thought they were uniforms, but today they look like costumes to us. But yeah.
Okay,
so motorcycle Nazis. Digression. Battlefront made motorcycle Nazis back in the day before COVID. After COVID, all their codes and supply became strange. But I need motorcycle Nazis 15mm for my Panzer Grenadier company. Even though they don't have motorcycle Nazis in their Panzer Grenadier company.
Yeah.
But it's Weird War. I did 15mm Weird War Germans. You know the guy with the Space Marine helmets over the Balkan cruisers and the shoulder pads? Yeah. So I need motorcycle Nazis for that. And unfortunately, because they don't make them anymore, every so often they turn up on Noble Night, and they're hella expensive. So I'm like, so I see it, and somebody says, "Oh, someone's got them." And I go, "No."
Can't justify the patient.
And now the price keeps going up. So it's like a slap in the face. And I have to log into Noble Night and say, "Stop showing me these things. I'm not going to pay money for." I'm just going to 3D print them instead and have my own. I like how you skip the whole bridge of Indiana Jones in the middle.
I've never watched Indiana Jones. I was trying to get past the thing as quickly as I could.
It's all right.
Because,
I'm trying to civilize him. Your business is safe with with me around while this generation.
Yeah, that last one. Yes.
Anyway, so
I'll watch it.
We were supposed to watch. Lost. Where's Lost Ark?
So we do movie nights here at the studio where he tries to get me and the rest of the...
Pass me the whip, then I'll throw you the idol.
Huh?
Pass me the whip, then I'll throw you the idol.
I've heard it so many times. I've never... I don't know what... I know what it's from now because he keeps saying it. But I've never watched it yet.
Yes.
But
so I have
we're supposed to. He downloaded it, we're supposed to watch it.
So we do Warhammer, we do fantasy, we do science fiction, you wouldn't think that people who put Space Marines all over their front page are doing a lot of historical painting. But we end up doing a lot of historical painting, which was a little unexpected. But we've had to, figure it out and learn the things and make sure we can handle it. I mean, I did history in college, so I had a natural...
Oh, you had your
it was fun to go off from there.
Your bachelor's was in history.
My bachelor's in history, right? I don't know what that did to help me paint historical figures, but at least I had some idea what these things are.
Definitely helped. My bachelor's was in engineering. I do not use it for anything.
You use your bachelor of engineering quite a lot in this building, let's put it that way. So, what was challenging for us with these was that we realized how little we knew about historical painting, which was something that was gonna hit us anyway, because there are details which are harder to police with historical painting. If things are real and they may be more fiddly than a bolter. Bolters are quite simple compared to like a Lee Enfield. And how do you paint a Lee Enfield correctly? How do you make sure the next painter paints a Lee Enfield correctly? Yeah. Are they shading? Are they doing black and dry brushing into gray, or are they using a bulk and a metal color and shading it down with inks? So consistency was the challenge. It wasn't that we didn't know what we were doing; it's that we didn't know how to make sure everyone was consistent with details that we weren't used to focusing on. Mm-hmm. And the past 6 months, we've had to do a bunch of historical painting. We have to really sit down and work on our game to get all the details down. And Kashan, I think, has been the king of that. I mean, we had this person who was incredibly anal about every weird little detail you can imagine. So we're like, hey, can you learn everything there is to know about, painting historical the uniforms? He's like looking at reference for water bottles. He's sending a client a picture like, hey, so we think this is what the radio looked like. Like, what do you think? Like, I was like, okay, it's great. Let's go with the radio. So every little weird detail, like the caps on the grenades. So he's done an amazing job with that, and I'm very, very proud of the historical work we're putting out now for Warlord games. So that stuff is great. Anything older than that, I mean, like anything like medieval, we don't care. Nobody knows what stuff look like. So yeah. And I mean, Ridley Scott would do a "Were you there?" But we're not going to go that far. We have some respect for the source material. So yeah, cool. A lot of respect for the source material.
Some respect.
No, a lot. Cool. So that's the Deutsche Afrika. Next, we'll talk to you about Townsfolk Tussle. This is a game where the figures are inspired by 1920s cartoons. And we gave it to a painter, and she was like, what are these? And I said, let me show you. And it was a trip to pull up cartoons that are over 100 years old and show it to her. And she's sitting there looking at the YouTube and going, okay, this is the same weird stuff. There's one
Cuphead thing as well.
Yes. So, like I said, Gen Z is millennial, right?
Okay, that's millennial.
That was millennial, to be fair. So I'm showing this to a painter, Kaushal, a lovely painter, fantastic work. And Manol comes over. Manol hands all the sales emails. And he goes, oh yeah, Kaushal, this army is based on Cuphead. Like, Manol, yes. As his voice says, but he knows, like, I'm across with him. He goes, yes. Like, Manol, what do you think Cuphead is based on? I was like, But Elvis was not born in the 80s, as some people of millennial generation believe.
Yeah, some people are not me in this question.
No, not
But
him.
yes,
Not him.
I recognize that it was not from Cuphead because I had seen all the... I watched like an hour-long video about how all of the Cuphead stuff, like... There's like this outro...
Oh, you actually knew about Cuphead?
No.
As opposed to just played it?
No, yeah, that too. But also there was like an hour and a half analysis on people saying Cuphead is racist. Cause
What?
There's a lot of TV shows from that generation were. And like the guy just dissects and it's like, that's not the same thing. It's based on a...
It's a game.
It's just enjoy the thing. Don't ruin it.
Motorcycle Nazis, it can be fun.
Question mark.
Indiana Jones, wargaming? What? Whatever. Anyway, so there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's our show. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you jumped to all the cool bits we were showing pictures instead of listening to a couple of guys with the same name trying to find things to tell you. So yeah.
Still trying to figure out what the name of the show is.
I think the Paintedfigs Show is a good one.
The Paintedfigs Show.
It's not going to be the Paintedfigs Show. Anyway, all right. Thank you very much. See you next week.
See you guys.